time. This is our last day of the summit. We appreciate all of our featured guests, and we're excited to share a little bit today, some great resources from a phenomenal panel here with representatives across the greater New Orleans area, specifically our very own Jefferson Parish. I'm going to just put a quick note so that I don't get sidetracked on that about putting your questions into the Q&A as we begin this topic, but definitely want to ensure that we are getting all of your questions answered this afternoon. Thank you again, John. Thank you to all our winners. And we're going to, again, close this summit out on a bang with a wealth of resources to share with you, our Jefferson community and employers. Our panel includes some very special speakers. We do have Sherry Allen. She is a clinical nurse specialist for oncology and palliative care at People's Health. She'll be presenting on caregiver support. We also have Jack Sloan. Jack Sloan's a certified financial planner, tax accountant, and insurance agent with Sloan Financial Services. He'll be sharing some insight on financial wellness and what that means for you as well. We have Shannon Williams. Shannon Williams is the Director of Education at NAMI New Orleans, who will be sharing some resources and guidance around mental health, a very important topic. And then we also have Rosamar Martinez. She is here as an intervention coordinator with the Louisiana Breast and Cervical Health Program at LSU Health New Orleans. And she's going to be sharing some insight around no-cost cancer screenings for women in Louisiana. Each speaker will share a brief overview of their services, and we did receive a few questions ahead of time for today's summit. But please, again, feel free to ask your questions to our panelists. I'll be fielding those throughout the discussion. So without further ado, we'll go do a round robin of introductions, starting out with Sherry Allen.
Hi, I'm Sherry Allen. I'm the clinical nurse specialist for oncology and palliative care at People's Health. And I'm going to speak today on what it means to be a caregiver. So we all know that a caregiver can be anyone, paid or unpaid. It can vary at different points in a person's life, who that caregiver is, and it can vary in the amount of caregiving that's needed at those points in time.
Thank you, Sherry.
Oh, you're welcome.
All righty, Jack Sloan.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the call today. I'm a certified financial planner, tax accountant, and insurance agent. And at Sloan Financial, we're celebrating 27 years of helping people's dreams come true. I work in the areas of financial planning, retirement, both individual and company retirement plans, investing, insurance, and taxation. I was named runner-up in the state of Louisiana for the SBA award in financial services. And the chamber is actually the one who put me up for that award. So I'm eternally grateful for that. I've also been very involved with the chamber in different ways. I've been a longtime board member. I've run the ambassador committee. I've also run the small business committee. And I've also been very involved in the community president of the American Cancer Society board. And I am also on the East Jefferson General Hospital Foundation board currently. So happy to be with you and looking forward to the discussion on financial wellness that I'm going to share today.
Shannon Williams.
Yes, hi, can you hear me? Great.
Yes.
You know, a year and a half into COVID and we're still having basic computer trouble. But I'm glad to be here. My name is Shannon Williams. I'm the Education Director at NAMI New Orleans, which is the local affiliate of the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We serve Jefferson, Orleans, St. Bernard, and Plaquemines parishes. And we have a lot of services for people with serious mental illness like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. But we also have a lot of other resources to really promote wellness for everyone because we all have mental health. we all need to take care of our mental health. So that's what I'm going to talk about today.
Thank you. And last but not least, Ms. Rosamar Martinez.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this panel. So my name is Rosa Torres, and I am the coordinator for the Louisiana Breast and Cervical Health Program. We are a statewide organization with a mission to support women in Louisiana to get screened for breast and/or cervical cancer. We do this by collaborating with clinics across the state and through them covering the costs related with the screenings. In order to qualify, women need to be between 21 to 64 years old for cervical cancer screening and 40 to 64 for breast cancer. They also must be at or below 250% of the poverty line. And I actually was researching this morning, particularly on the Jefferson Parish area, and around 26,408 women are eligible to our program in this parish alone. Also, in my role as a coordinator, I support workplaces, enhance their worksite wellness programs by adding cancer prevention activities, such as providing educational materials, connecting workplaces with speakers, and also based on the availability, coordinating a mobile mammography van to go to their sites. So I'm super happy to be here and looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you so much, Rosa. We are excited, and like I said, please feel free to answer those, to ask those questions in the Q&A. We are really wanting your participation and interaction in this conversation, but we'll start right out and we'll go ahead to start with caregiver support. And so our first question today is, can you please speak on the types of challenges that caregivers may be facing through the pandemic as well as afterwards, and what employers may be able to offer in order to make those challenges more manageable?
Absolutely. Some of the challenges that have come out as a result of the pandemic is a more flexible work schedule for a lot of people. And so some of the things that employers are looking at and can look at in consideration of their employees and moving forward is hybrid models of working. Could an employee work 2 days a week in the office and 3 days a week at home? Could they split their hours where they are more available to do things in a different perspective? So what we've had to do as employers is to look at how the work is being done. How can we continue to provide services to folks and yet meet the needs of those who have caregiving needs at home? Can mom or dad still try to provide care for a mother or father and take 2 hours out of their workday and end 2 hours later and still do all the work that they can? So the 9 to 5, you have to be in the office with your coat and tie on. For a lot of people, that no longer is the real norm.
Thank you, Cherie. Appreciate that perspective. And we'll come back to you if we have some time for sure.
Absolutely.
Perfect. All righty. Around financial wellness, we would love to ask Mr. Sloan a question. For someone that's new to the concept of financial wellness, what are some of the first steps you would recommend taking? And please provide any tools and resources that you would think would be great to offer. Mr. Jack, you're on mute.
Thank you. Financial wellness, I guess we ought to define as something like live for today while preparing for tomorrow, okay? And the reason I have the house behind me is it's all about building your financial house, right? And it's important when you build a house, right, that you have a foundation, etc., because without a good foundation, the house can crumble, right? So in the financial wellness world, one of the first things I would want someone to think about is, do you have the proper insurances to make sure we have a good foundation to build that house. First things first, okay? And that can include, a lot of people forget about disability income. You know, what would happen if your income stopped? What's more important than earning an income? So you want to make sure that you have disability insurance, and that can be through your employer, and it can also be individual, and there may be reasons to do one or the other or both. So life insurance, those kind of health insurance, those kind of insurances are crucial to start building that financial house and building your financial wellness and future, okay? So after that, you have to get in the habit of saving. You know, we have to put aside money, a little bit of pain today for a much bigger reward later. And so you have to get in the habit of saving. What should you save? It's probably a little different for everybody, but we recommend about 15% of your net income you should be saving. Okay, and remember, you can count your 401k if you have access to that. Also, make sure you take advantage of that, because there could be free money from your employer, like the match. You put up so much, the employer matches it. So payroll deduction. Bank drafts, great way, because once again, it's systematic. You're saving something every month. And I don't care what you start with, but you have to start saving something for your future. So set up a bank draft. As soon as your paycheck goes in there, set it up for the next day to take it out and go to an investment account, etc. So it's important to get in the habit of saving. It's also important to set goals with time frames, with dollars. You know, a goal without all those details is a wish, and maybe wishes come true, but goals you can plan for, and that's what I do as a certified financial planner. And another thing is, you have to know where your money's going. You have to know where you are, and you have to see where that money is going, so you can make intelligent decisions about what may be superfluous that you can actually cut back to reach that 15% savings goal. And of course, just like in your general health and wellness, you might need a coach. That coach, and that is, you know, a doctor, correct? And they're going to help lay out a plan and help you stay healthy. Well, same thing on the financial side. You might want to get with a financial advisor to help you, especially if you're starting on that road. And finally, an emergency fund is very important. We all want to invest for retirement and for savings goals in the future, whatever that may be. But before we do any of that, going back to the foundation of the house, we need an emergency fund that if something happens, we have cash readily available at a moment's notice. You know, the car breaks, whatever it may be, need a new AC for the house. We can go there without disrupting an investment plan that a financial advisor would set up to help you reach your goals and to be financially fit and well.
Thank you so much. That was great advice. We're going to move on to a very important topic, which is all about our mental health. You know, stress is a key factor as we were all heading back to the workplace or in the workplace. And so, you know, thinking about that transition, Shannon, what are some ways that to help employees deal with burnout symptoms? Anything that you have to advise on that?
Yeah, excellent. So like I said before, you know, we may not all have a mental health condition or a mental illness, but we all have mental health, and we really have to prioritize that and protect that to make sure that we don't develop a mental health condition, or to make sure things don't, you know, become worse. But regardless, you know, I think the pandemic showed us just how mental health impacts everyone. You know, the mental health conditions are so common, but we've all experienced stress and, you know, trauma and upset and so many things because of the pandemic. And so we all need to take care of that. And as employers, you want to be able to take care of your employees' mental health, because that, obviously, you care about your employees, and that also affects their productivity and their ability to do their work. Depression is actually the most debilitating health condition worldwide in terms of productivity lost from a job. And so it's incredibly important to take care of your employees' mental health. One of the things that we really recommend is to make sure that, you enshrine mental health protections kind of in your employee policies. So making sure that they say that, sick leave can include a mental health day. Making sure that if you offer employee health insurance, if that has good coverage for mental health services. Having a very open and honest way for employees to come to their supervisors and to say, I'm dealing with, X, Y, or Z, I'm dealing with burnout, I'm dealing with stress, and not feeling worried that will jeopardize their job, or that there won't be ways that, work can be, accommodations can be made to help someone deal with that struggle that they're dealing with and still, produce good work that you already, you've known them to do. So that's like a few of the really, big things that we recommend to really prioritize employee health.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and head to Ms. Rosa and ask her a quick question. And we heard during the Healthy Business Awards about an employee who received a skin cancer screening and how it saved her life. Can you share why any organization should provide specific cancer screenings as a part of their overall health initiatives?
Thank you for this question. Before I answer this question in particular, I want to say that I understand that not every organization have the financial means to offer healthcare coverage to employees. And maybe they don't even have the ability to provide, for example, like paid time off for screenings. However, there are simple steps that they could take that require low funds and low effort, such as, for example, sharing among their existing communication channels a resource like what my organization provides, no cost screenings. So back to the question, particularly, one of the major causes of death in Louisiana is cancer. I believe it's the second one right after heart disease, Coretta. There are some screenings for specific cancers that have been tested and proven to decrease mortality. And those are breast cancer, cervical, colorectal, and in certain instances, lung. So through these screenings, we can help diagnose cancer when it's super early and the chances of survival are great. And in the case of cervical cancer, we can completely prevent it. So in Jefferson Parish specifically, I did the research, and breast cancer is the most common to cause mortality death among women. So by organizations focusing their efforts, promoting the completion on this specific cancer screenings, first, that are recommended, and second, that they are pretty common in their communities, this could literally be saving the lives of employees, like in the case with the employer that was just mentioned at the beginning of this conversation. And then finally, it's really beneficial for the employer as well, because it is so costly to get new employees. I mean, think about the recruitment, the onboarding, the training that goes with employees. So it's definitely, for the better of like the health of their employees, and also financially the best decision as an employer.
Thank you, Rosa. Great. Appreciate your insight and information there. We are